Hello everyone, this is Sebastian Avalos. Welcome to my channel. I have a couple of videos for you guys to react to. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Sure appreciate it. And let's get into the videos.
Dating in 2025 literally makes no sense. I'm sure a lot of you are in the same boat that I'm in right now, so let's dive in. As a man, you can be a good-looking guy, have a lot of money, have a good job, is very compassionate, very loving, and very loyal. And your lady will still leave you for a man that's 6'5" named Raquise that has face tattoos and that smokes. Look at me right now and tell me that makes sense. And tell me that makes sense. Because it doesn't! You can be a good person in this world of dating, which there's not a lot. Keep in mind, there's not a lot. Most of everybody are pieces of garbage, and all they want is instant gratification. They don't want a long-term relationship, because once they get bored, you're cooked. So in this day and age, me specifically, how am I supposed to have a wife and kids and all this stuff? I mean, look at me. I'm a good-looking man. I got a lot to offer. I don't beg. I don't plead. I don't chase. I'm not crazy clingy. I'm a normal guy. But look at me! Make this shit make sense! I know a lot of people are in the same boat as me, men and women. One lesson I had to learn. You can't make someone want you. Let me say it again. You can't make someone want you. And most people that are in my shoes, we just get discarded. We're great, awesome, compassionate, loving human beings, but we just get discarded because people are just so confused. So, your confusion is going around and around.
Alright, this pops up on your For You page. This is for the ladies. I have a question. Do you guys think we're like mind readers? Because I've been seeing a lot of videos recently of people, like women talking about, oh, male loneliness epidemic and men aren't approaching women anymore. Bro, this is how you guys flirt. Let me show you. So I'm supposed to walk up to you because you stared at me 3 times? Like you wanted to throw me off a bridge? How's that flirting, bro? If I approach you, when you look at me like that, I don't want to be embarrassed in public and go, ew, get away from me, I have a boyfriend. Ladies, like, especially at the gym. You see a girl, attractive? I'm not approaching you. When you're looking at me like this. But women will tell you, no, she's interested. She likes you. Get it the fuck out of here.
You're in your 20s. Don't hook up with that person you shouldn't be hooking up with. Dating in your 20s is messy. Now is the time to give into the urges and desires so that later on you're not resenting yourself or somebody else for it. You need to stop feeling bad for it. Who cares? We're all gonna laugh about it. We're all gonna die.
This is very much some of the worst advice that a woman can give. Because women that do this, they end up having a really difficult time maintaining a healthy long-term relationship because they are used to having a very short-term, huge dopamine hit. These initial superficial relations, they are exciting. Women that do this will end up saying later on in a long-term relationship that they are just bored and they want to put their happiness first. So then they end up leaving. And that is why men have an opinion on this. They don't want to be with somebody that has had a ton of partners, especially if they themselves have not, because they know the impact. And it's not to say that if you have done this, that you can't go back and heal from it, because you absolutely can if you do the work. But the best thing would be to completely avoid it and don't do this. Do not follow this woman's advice.
I'm done. All you do is talk to other girls. That's all you do.
They don't mean nothing.
Yeah, they do.
They really don't.
I'm done. Okay.
What's up, babe? How you doing?
What? Wait, babe, I love you. Come on.
You be alright. You'll be alright. You want this too.
Oh, thank you. Look at you, think you slick.
You ready for a good time?
Yeah, you gonna open the door for me?
I'm literally doing it right now.
Yeah, as you should. Thank you.
Oh.
What?
Let me check out something real quick.
Where you going?
Something in my spirit. Look at God.
I thought we was going to dinner. Hello, JB. Wow.
Women no longer want an average man. Now, I know that's a pretty broad, sweeping statement, and I'm definitely generalizing a group of people. I'm also smart enough to know that it doesn't apply to every woman, but from society's generalized viewpoint, being an average man at this point is a death sentence. And it's like you kind of want to be mad about it, but then you really can't be, right? Because think about it. Women have been inundated on social media with photos of the picture perfect guy, right? He's like 6'4", blue eyes, blonde hair, perfect smile, super chiseled physique. And then when they see a guy in real life, we don't look like that, right? Like on average, most guys are not in that 1%, that top 1%. Now, I already know the other side of this argument from a woman would be, well, you guys see the picture perfect girl, right? We see the picture perfect girl on social media all the time, which is true. But we all know that a man can't just walk out on the street and say, I want to be in a relationship and I'm going to pick you. Like, we can't do that. Women have that luxury because they, in a lot of ways, control the sex or the relationship market. And I don't want that to sound too red pilly, but it's the facts. Like, we all know that, especially us men who have been around a little bit longer. It's just the fact of the matter. So it's not an equal comparison. You know, when I was growing up, we used to refer to Prince Charming. We would say that women just want to be with their Prince Charming. He's the guy from Cinderella. I think we're at a point now where even Prince Charming couldn't survive the landscape of dating in 2025. I think we're just at a place now where technology and the rapid pace in which dating is taking place is such that if you are not at least above average, you are going to get left behind. And let me clarify here. I'm not talking about looks. Looks is definitely a part of that, and we might get into that later on. But I mean, just as an individual, it's seemingly not okay to just be average because you will get left behind. Now, some of you might be like, well, I don't want a girl, I don't care about women. Let's just be real here. Yes, you do. Like, a lot of what men do in their day-to-day lives, a lot of our actions are motivated by the desire to procreate. That is just what it is. And so I don't care who you are. A part of you, if you're a man, does want that partnership. You want to procreate with somebody else. It is literally in your DNA. So I don't think it's enough to just say, you know what, screw it, I don't want to participate. If you don't want to, and that's genuinely how you feel, I absolutely support that. But I'm talking to the guys who kind of do want that fighting chance. It's just not okay to just be an average individual anymore. This brings me back to when I was first going through my recovery with pornography addiction. We would always hear the rhetoric that said that looking at porn all the time, it really shapes your expectations of how a woman is supposed to be. We start thinking about how she should be in bed, how she should be as a woman, how she should look. There are studies that have confirmed that is exactly what happens. This is literally the same thing, except now it's in reverse. We as men were getting the brunt of it. Now women have expectations of how a man should be, and they are completely unrealistic expectations. But again, we can't fault them, right? Because it goes both ways. And that kind of puts some guys in a bit of a weird spot. Again, going back to this idea that we don't control the sex market. We can't just flip a switch or walk outside the house one day and say, yep, I want to be in a relationship and I want to be in a relationship with you. Women can do that. We as guys, we cannot. And so some guys end up between a rock and a hard place where they either err on the side of doing nothing, or they go to the extremes and they transform every part of themselves, from their looks to their finances to everything, right? I'm more interested in what's in between, like what is in between the radical transformation and doing nothing. The things that are within our control, things that we can do to better ourselves and maximize our potential, essentially. Those are the things that I think about when I think about being above average. The problem that I notice with most guys is that they always end up on the far side of the spectrum, meaning that they do this radical transformation, which almost always puts their own life at risk. And I think the lowest hanging fruit that we can talk about first is steroids. Guys willy-nilly inject their body with stuff that makes them look good, yes, but also poses a tremendous health risk, puts their lives at risk. And that, I think, is going too far. We can also think about leg lengthening surgery, guys who are maybe on the shorter side, who want to be taller. They're deciding to do things, undergo procedures, or just inject stuff into their body that can have a real adverse and irreversible effect on their life forever. There's this YouTuber, his name is Frank Tufano, and I'm kind of ashamed that I actually know his name, but he's the epitome of what I'm talking about. He started off doing like jaw surgeries, I think 10 years ago, kind of looks maxing before looks maxing was even a thing. If you fast forward to today, this dude has permanently damaged his eyeballs. One of his eyes, I think, is just pointing in one direction and the other one's kind of going straight. And it's not just an aesthetic thing. He literally can't see straight anymore. He permanently damaged his appearance, his eyeballs forever, all because he wanted to look better in his own eyes. Those aren't the types of changes that we want to make. Like, we don't want to make any change that comes from a place of insecurity, because we're likely to do something that's going to permanently damage ourselves. And then on the other side of the spectrum, we've got guys who maybe want to better their chances, but are also unwilling to do anything. They've just said, you know what, I don't.
Melanie, I'm single, you're single. What do you say we get married?
Well, I'm glad you finally decided on the direct approach.
Yeah, well, I'm a businessman at heart.
As am I. What's your offer?
Single rich male seeks matrimony.
Primary residence?
Westchester County.
Would you be open to considering a secondary residence in Manhattan?
Central Park West.
South.
Done. Time spent together.
8 hours, 5 days a week.
7 hours, 12 hours weekends.
55 hours aggregate, specifics to be determined later.
I'm amenable to that. Children.
1.
3.
2.
Done. But one of them has to be a male.
I'll see what I can do. Vacations.
December, Hawaii.
June, the vineyard.
June, fine, but Hawaii.
Nope, the vineyard.
Is that a deal breaker for you?
I'm afraid so.
Me too. Well, we gave it a shot.
I'm sure you'll find a better match.
Thanks for the...
I'm a team player, so I am going to share some common icks of dating in 2025. It's trash, by the way. If you're married, just stay married. I think you're going to be better off if you just stay married. Even if you're unhappy, I just recommend staying married, okay? It's nothing. It's trash. The dating pool is trash. 40 plus, trash. Straight downhill. But let's talk about some common icks, okay? Emotional intelligence, right? You would think whenever you start getting into the 40 plus club that there'd be some emotional intelligence. No, that's not true. That is not true at all. Not true at all. I dated a guy who literally, I felt like I was just banging my head against a wall anytime that there was conflict. And I'd try and talk through it with him, and it was just like literally banging my head against the wall. I'm like, this is pointless. This is pointless. How can you be 40 whatever and lack emotional intelligence? If you had anything going for you, I would think it'd be emotional intelligence when you're in your 40s. No, not this guy. Second ick, someone that just agrees with everything that you say. Like, I was talking to one guy, and every single time that I would say something, he would agree with it. I don't want someone agreeing with me all the time. I want someone like pushing my buttons and calling me out and challenging my thought process. Like, if I wanted someone to agree with me all the time, I don't know. Like, my kids don't even agree with me all the time. I need someone to challenge my thought process. So, 2 icks. What are your icks? What are your icks? What are your dating icks?
A lot of people date because they just want to have sex. A lot of people date because they want a boyfriend, a relationship. A lot of people date because they think it's fun. So I think there isn't enough conversation early on in the dating stages where you guys can be aligned on what you're both looking for. Because had they had this sooner, he would have just said, I'm just having fun dating, putting myself out there. And there's plenty of women that do that too. But if she would have said, I actually want a boyfriend, he might have been like, you know what, then I'm not your guy. And all of this could have been avoided. A lot of people write in being like, what's the right thing to do? It's just having the difficult, uncomfortable conversations that end up being the thing that maybe saves you the most time in the end.
Sometimes the best thing is you can say, like, this is all I can give right now.
It
sounds horrible
when guys say that.
I know, but
this is why you guys don't say
this is all I can give.
Like, it's a lose-lose situation.
No,
honestly.
Yeah.
It is.
Just be
You're damned if
honest.
you do, you're damned if you don't. And
So
honestly,
you might as well do
if you
the
are
thing that's gonna
damned
end
if you
up
do,
being, yeah.
do it.
You know what I think it is? I
honest.
think everyone today has slightly different versions of what dating means to them. Ciao, Sophia, sign off.
Bye.
Chris.
So I decided that since the world is a dumpster fire, why not get back on the dating apps, right? It's 2025. Let's just see what's out there. Well, do not recommend. It's a 2 thumbs down. But let me tell you about the 6 dates that I have had within the past 3 weeks, which is kind of crazy to go on 6 dates. I don't think I went on 6 dates all of last year, but I somehow managed to squeak in 6 of them, and the last one's a real doozy, so stick around so I can tell you about it. Okay, so date number 1, he was actually the nicest one, the most level-headed, good conversation. There was just no chemistry. He seemed really normal. He was about to retire from 20 years at the post office, 2 girls in college, just no chemistry. So, date number 2, this guy was crazy, all up in my face. He was a hairdresser for 40 years. Now he's in oil and gas. Been married twice. He was pretty drunk. By the end of the date, he's asking me some very sexual questions about my sex life and if I'm satisfied and if I know about this apparatus. It's like handcuffs you put on your wrists and your feet and you're in the doorway. And I'm like, no, I don't, sir. I don't know about that. And I'm definitely not going to try it out with you. So as he spills his wine and breaks his wine glass and steps on glass all over the floor, I'm like, time to go. Okay, so date number 3, I've actually talked to him on the phone. He was a nice guy, but the red flags, they were there, but he was funny. So I don't know what it is with men where they just want to vomit and tell you all of their baggage right up front. But apparently he grew up in a cult in the Pentecostal church, and he's been married 3 times, and he proceeded to tell me about what a mess he was. Okay, thanks for the drinks. Nice to know you. Okay, bye. So date number 4, this guy, another one, married 3 times. So now that's, the first guy was married once, second guy was married twice, third guy was married 3 times, this guy's married 3 times, and he voted for Trump, so. Okay, next guy, 5th date. He seemed kind of normal, but again, married 3 times. Can you men just not be alone at all? And he even said that this past girlfriend he would have married her. So as we were leaving, we're joking. There was no chemistry or anything. I'm joking. I'm like, hey, good luck with, wife number 4. And he just starts laughing. Ha ha. Oh, anyway. Date number 6, you guys. Date number 6. This was just this past Saturday. We have actually talked on the phone and FaceTime. And he told me right up front that he was an amputee, that he had a fake leg. Okay, whatever. Like, that doesn't bother me. I'm pretty easygoing. But he did say, it was getting kind of refurbished or refitted or something, so he's on crutches right now. I'm like, okay, that's fine. He wanted to pick me up. Fine. You can drive with 1 leg? Okay, pick me up. So we go to the restaurant, and he goes on his crutches and goes inside and goes to the bathroom, and we have dinner, and when we're leaving, we leave, we get in the truck, and we're sitting in the truck, and he pulls out a cup, and he starts to pee in it. Mind you, I'm sitting next to him. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, this is a first date. Like, you're peeing in that cup. And he's like, yeah, I'm peeing in this cup. Like, we were just in the restaurant. Like, you're whipping it out and you're just going to pee right here in front of me. And then what? You're going to have a full cup of urine? He's like, no. As he dumps it out the window. Are you fucking kidding me? So he takes me back to my house and he comes in and we're sitting on the couch and we're talking and like just chit-chatting, whatever. And all of a sudden he's like, hey, can you give me a cup so I can go to the bathroom? No, absolutely not. You are not going to sit on my couch and pee in a fucking cup on my couch. I'm like, sir, there are 3 bathrooms. None of them with stairs. Pick a bathroom. You're not going to sit on my couch and pee in a cup. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, I get it. You're kind of got this handicap thing going on, but you can't get to the bathroom. I mean, I don't get it. Like, why is that so difficult to go to the bathroom? Why are you going to ask me for a cup, especially on our first date to pee in? 6 dates? I think I'm out. It's, beginning of February, and I don't know that I need to do this anymore. That's what I'm feeling about dating in 2025. Okay, if you carry around a pee cup, girls don't want to know about that.
It's open.
I don't go out on dates with guys who don't open the door for me.
Really?
Really?
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Dating for guys has become very hard, as women only look at them as walking ATMs, when women's expectations are very high, when yet they bring nothing to the table but entitlement and emotional baggage. The majority of women, not all. I remember as I was growing up, it was very different. Very, very different. But that's a long time ago. The new modern dating, as guys date for relationships and women date for an easier lifestyle. Let me know what you guys think below. If you think even if it's worth it dating in 2025, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next video.